Welcome to Secrets of the Stars, where we explore the ancient knowledge of astrology, decode your unique blueprint, and unveil how the wisdom of the sky contributes to your life. I'm your host, Abby Lutis, astrologer, mentor, and sky guide. It's time to embark on a cosmic adventure of self-discovery and understanding why you are the way you are. Let's dive in. Well, hello and welcome back to Secrets of the Stars, coming to you on this long weekend here in Western Australia. Yesterday, I competed in the Western Australian Surf Lifesaving Championships. It was my first time competing in the open competition in about 7 years. And let me tell you, I really felt it. So I have been doing a lot of training. I compete in the Beach Flags event, and an opportunity opened up for me to go and compete in this event. So it was really exciting. It was really fun. I perhaps didn't do as well as I had thought I might, but it was really great to get back out and be competing. I mean, I am 43, so mixing it up with the 20-year-olds was quite powerful, and I was very proud of my efforts. I'm actually in training for the Australian Championships, which are coming up in around 3 weeks' time. I love competition. I love sport. I have a very strong signature in my chart that shows this. My Mars, the planet of action, the planet of competitiveness, the planet of energy, is aligned in conjunction with my Jupiter. So the Jupiter, the planet of expansion and growth and abundance. And when these planets come together, it usually shows a very high energy, competitive person, very much into sports, and I have been my whole life. So I was very proud to get to that competition. It was somewhat of a last minute decision, so very proud of my efforts. But I'm in here today to talk to you about 3 simple ways to understand yourself more clearly using the lens of astrology. Now, we are in some pretty crazy astrological times at the moment. We are in the middle of eclipse season. We're in the middle of Mercury retrograde. We're coming off the major Saturn-Neptune conjunction that we saw a few weeks ago. And there is a lot happening in the world. And so things can feel quite heavy. There's a lot of news stories. It's really hard to actually understand and know what is real and what to believe. And so my hope is that this episode can bring the energy back to yourself, because I truly feel that we only have power in the moment, in this moment. And the only power we have is within ourselves. And that's what I want to try and help you to strengthen by looking at your strengths, your strong points through the lens of astrology. So this episode is part 2 of my 3-part series. Last week, I spoke about how you are so much more than your star sign. This week, I'll be talking about the 3 simple ways to understand yourself more clearly, and I'll be giving you 3 simple steps to go and actively look into your chart to help you get that understanding. Next week, I'll be talking about what are your patterns trying to teach you, and I'll show you in your chart how you can identify certain patterns and what you can learn from them. So today, my 3-step chart decoding method is what we're going to be diving into. Now, a lot of people don't really know where to start when it comes to decoding their chart, because when you see a chart, it can be a little bit overwhelming. There are so many lines and symbols and numbers, and you might even not even know what they mean. Now, of course, you may have a good understanding of your big 3, your sun, moon, and rising sign, But today we're going to be narrowing in on the rising sign and really understanding what that means, because that is your life lens, the way that you see the world, the energy that you see the world through. Then we're going to look at the chart ruler, and I'll tell you how to find that and where that chart ruler is situated in your chart and why they are important for you to understand. So I'm going to be breaking down the astrology and how to understand your natal chart like this in this very easy step-by-step manner in the upcoming 3 months in my 11th house membership. So we're going to be looking at things like understanding the dynamic of your big three and how they all work together. We're going to be looking at different repeating elements or patterns that you can find in your natal chart, and really just understanding what it all means. My classes in the membership are very interactive. There's lots of opportunity to ask questions and help understand how to interpret your chart. So some of these techniques that I'm about to teach you, they might feel a little bit advanced, but they are so accessible when I break them down in this simple, understand, step-by-step way. Astrology does not have to be complicated when you can hone in on one particular detail and really get into the depth of what that means. So let's look at today's simple method, which revolves around the rising sign, also known as the ascendant sign. So your rising sign is the sign that pretty much sets the stage for your entire life. It's the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon the moment that you took your first breath. And it is said that you come into the world with this energy rising within you, with these strengths rising within you. You see the lens through this energy. It's also the way you show up to the world, how others might see you. And so when you can truly understand your rising sign, your ascendant sign, it can give you a really good understanding of how others may see you. So just as an example, a Leo rising will see the world very differently to a Capricorn rising. They're seeing it through a different lens. So, as I'm trying to get you to think more broadly than just your star sign or your sun sign, I really want you to go and have a look and find your rising sign. Now, you do need to understand your birth time, know your birth time, so you can get an accurate rising sign. And then you need to start looking into the characteristics of that sign, just like you probably have done with your star sign or your sun sign. The more you research, the more you understand, the more you find out about that sign, I guarantee you, the more you will resonate with it. So that is step one. Find your rising sign and just think about how you look at life, how you present yourself to the world, how you go about doing things. This is all the characteristics and the qualities of your rising sign. Now, step two is to understand your chart ruler. Now, what on earth is that? You're probably wondering. Well, it is the planet that rules your rising sign or your ascendant sign. So every sign has a planet that is its ruler. We can dive deeper into this in another episode, but basically every planet rules one or two signs. And you can think of it like when this particular planet is in that sign, it's really in its strength. The planet and its characteristics will align with that sign. So it's like being the king of the kingdom or the ruler of the kingdom. And that sign is very powerful when it moves through that sign. So to understand your chart ruler, I'm going to go through each sign and share with you the planet that rules that sign. So Aries rising, you're ruled by Mars. Taurus rising is ruled by Venus. Gemini rising is ruled by Mercury. Cancer rising is ruled by the moon. Leo rising is ruled by the sun. Virgo rising is ruled by Mercury. Libra rising is ruled by Venus. Scorpio rising is ruled by Mars. Sagittarius rising is ruled by Jupiter. Capricorn and Aquarius rising are ruled by Saturn. And Pisces rising is ruled by Jupiter. Now that you have that information, you can start to deepen your understanding of the planet or the chart ruler, the planet that is ruling your chart. And it can show you themes and undertones of the energy of your personality and your life. So, just as an example, I am a Capricorn rising. So, Saturn is the ruling planet of my chart, it's my chart ruler. So, when you start to understand what this planet is about, what it represents, have a bit of a research. You can go back to previous episodes of mine and really understand, what does that planet represent? What does it stand for? And how is it showing up for you? How do you relate to it? How can you see themes of that planet in your life? And how does that planet tie into your personality, and what role is it playing in your life? And you might find very strong synchronicities, very strong alliances, alignments with that planet. So that is the chart ruler. The next step, and the third and final step that I'm going to teach you in this podcast, is to find where the chart ruler is sitting in your chart. Where the ruler sits in your chart can tell you where a lot of your energy flows, a lot of your life force, a lot of where it goes. So, for example, my chart ruler is Saturn, because Saturn rules Capricorn. But in my chart, Saturn is not placed in Capricorn. It's actually placed in Libra, and it's in the 10th house. So I can look at the themes of Libra and the 10th house to understand a little bit more about my energy flow. So part 3, finding the sign and the house of the chart ruler. So look to this planet. Now, for you, it might not be Saturn, depending on what your rising sign is. You want to locate your chart ruler in your own personal natal chart. So when you find the sign of that your chart ruler is in, this can show you how you operate. It can show you the colors of your personality, your decision-making style, your motivation, and the lens through which you experience life. So if your chart ruler is in a fire sign, you might find yourself very expressive or action-orientated. If your chart ruler is in an earth sign, you might be quite practical, quite grounded, appreciating the tangible things of life. If your chart ruler is in an air sign, you might be more relational or mental or very communicative in your energy. And if your chart ruler is in a water sign, you might be more emotional and a little bit more intuitive. So the sign that your chart ruler is in is the tone and the style of the undercurrents of your life, essentially. Next, you want to look at the house of your chart ruler. Which house is this planet in? This is going to show you where your life energy is focused. So it will highlight the area of your life that feels central to your development and growth. It's something that you're always maybe striving for or looking to accomplish greatness in. So if your chart ruler sits in the 10th house, you might be very focused on your career or your reputation or whatever it is that is shaping your identity. If your chart ruler sits in the 7th house, you might be very focused on relationships. They're going to be a very signature energy of your life. If the chart ruler sits in your 4th house, you might be very dedicated to your home, to your family, to your roots, your foundations, and maybe your emotional security. They're going to be core key aspects of your life. So the house is your arena of experience, essentially. So together, looking at the sign and the house, you can essentially describe this as how you move through life and where you're meant to invest your life force. If you want to take this a little bit further, you could use these journal prompts. So, thinking about your rising sign, your chart ruler, and the sign and house of your chart ruler, ask yourself, in what areas of your life do you feel most activated, most challenged, or even called to grow? And how is this showing up and shaping your identity? Really great question to deep dive into to understand yourself a little bit more deeper than you might already. Now, the second journal prompt is, how does this sign, the sign of your chart ruler, show up in a way where you are initiating, where you're leading or responding to life? And where is this energy working well? And where might it be overcompensating? So have a ponder on those journal prompts to help you dive a little bit deeper into your chart ruler and your rising sign. And if you want to take this even one step further, come and join me in my April class in the 11th house membership. I'll be walking you through how to decode your entire chart step by step, like we have done with this little exercise today. So you leave with a real knowing and understanding of how to interpret it more confidently. So my classes in the 11th house membership over the next 3 months are really designed to teach you how to interpret your personal chart and use astrology to support your decision making in your life. It's not about overwhelming you or drowning you in astrological jargon. It's about actually helping you to understand yourself through the lens of astrology. So in March, we're going to be laying the foundation. So you're going to really understand what the chart means, what it looks like, what all the signs and symbols represent. Then in April, we'll decode it step by step, like we have done with this episode and exercise today. And then in May, we're going to explore deeper parts of your chart that you might have just misunderstood. And I'm going to show you how you can see them as strengths in your energy. So these 3 classes are designed to take you from surface level astrology to a real self-understanding and clarity and confidence of your natal chart. So you can actually use astrology and the knowledge of your birth chart. So right now you can join me for these 3 months with my special offer of just $97 and give yourself the space that you really deserve to understanding who you are through this lens of astrology. So if you are ready to come and join me and deepen your knowledge of and understanding of your astrology, come and join me in the 11th house membership. You'll get 3 months for just $97. I'd really love to have you there. Otherwise, please go and put these steps into action. I really think that we can listen and learn, but actually when we take action and we do the exercise, we take the steps, that is where we see so much gold and so much understanding. So thank you for joining me for today's episode, and I look forward to being back in here with you next week, sharing with you a little more about your own personal natal chart. Thank you for joining me on this cosmic journey of self-discovery. If you have enjoyed this episode, please leave a review and share it with someone who you think would love it. Keep exploring the secrets of the stars, and remember, the universe has woven a unique story just for you. Until next time, keep shining bright.